I'm so glad you can join me on the couch today. I'm coming to you unplanned and not in my studio, just in my living room. We're sitting, we're having a conversation. And if you aren't aware, mental illness is on the rise. Not only mental illness, um, but definitely spiritual warfare. The enemy is really showing out. He is showing out, and we let him. We let him. Um, because we as the church, we aren't standing up. I mean, I'm seeing it now and I'm proud of us. But before we were scared to stand up and say something about it and to pray and rebuke against the spirit of evil, just straight evil. For there to be people online, regardless of what side of the fence you sit on, this isn't a political video. A human life was lost. And for people who say that they celebrate it, they laugh, um, that they, in such a blasphemic way, use that trending sound of God's timing is always right on time over the fact that a man with a wife and 2 children lost his life, and you're celebrating that. And on top of that, you claim to be a Christian. You have the right to say, I don't wish death on anyone. Like, you try to do the Pontius Pilate thing and just wash your hand of the situation, but say, I'm not going to mourn him either. I would just say, reevaluate your heart. I'm not saying you have to, fall out on the floor over somebody that you don't know, and you never met. But it should sadden your heart that someone senselessly and tragically lost their life at the hands of a demon. That should do something to you. That should make you fall to your knees in prayer and ask the Lord for mercy on this nation. For you to say that this person, that Charlie, was an awful person simply because he disagreed with how you saw life, with how you see life, with how you live life, and he's never actively done anything to harm you physically, and yet because of that, you believe that should have cost him his life, reevaluate today, right now, where you stand with God. The word says in Matthew 5:44 and verse 45, it says that I tell you, Jesus is saying this, and I'm paraphrasing, but Jesus says, I tell you to love your enemies and to pray for those who persecute you. So if you consider Charlie your enemy, because again, he simply disagreed with how you view life, your job and responsibility was to pray for him and to love him as a Christian. If you're not a Christian, this doesn't apply to you. Get right with God first and then come back to this video. But if you're a Christian, your responsibility was to pray for him and love him if you considered him your enemy because he disagreed with your views. That was your job, because the word continues to say in that same verse, the sun rises for the just and the unjust. So if you considered him unjust, God still let the sun come up for him until yesterday. So my exhortation, I guess, or my point in all of this is, I would just reevaluate all of our hearts, all of us, and see where we stand with God. And if empathy and prayer wasn't your first response to the senseless loss of a life, regardless of who it was, I would get back into my prayer closet. Get back into my prayer closet and ask the Lord, what is it we're really doing here? And that's it. I've said my piece. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm praying for you always.